Phony climate change. That's what I want to talk about in the video today. In President Obama's inaugural, he's spent a significant part of his speech talking about the need to fight global warming. In fact, he didn't ever mention that the deficit would be a problem for future generations of the national debt. The legacy he was worried about leaving them was global warming and climate change. Well, there are two key points I want to make about it. One is that unless you get China on board, you're not going to do anything about it. And the second is that it's not happening in nearly the degree that the politicians and the left would have you believe. Start with the first. Ever since we began cracking down on climate change, we have made zero progress as a planet, zero, in reducing carbon emissions. Why? Because every bit of the rest of the world cuts its emissions, while China and India increase their emissions. And that increase in emissions is more than the rest of the world's decrease. Every single year, China emits enough greenhouse gases to equal the total emitted by the country of Japan, a country with a $5 trillion GDP. First, you have to deal with China. You can't deal with global warming and climate change without doing that. China refuses to have anything to do with the climate change issue. Won't cut its emissions, won't let it be monitored, any of that. And ever since we began the effort of reducing greenhouse gases, we've made no progress, because every time that we cut, they add back in. And what happens is that we lose jobs, because manufacturing jobs particularly leave the US and go to China precisely to avoid the global warming reactions. And yet we absolutely refuse to get tough with China. On the other hand, we'll turn our own economy upside down and end our job growth and hurt our manufacturing to cut our emissions, but oh, don't you ever talk to China about theirs. And the second thing is that global warming is not happening to the degree that would cause the significant kinds of problems that are being predicted. There are two kinds of global warming. One is the sun gets hotter, the greenhouse gases trap the sun, and the Earth's temperature gets warmer. That's happening. And it means that from the dawn of the industrial age until 2100, surface temperatures will go up by 1.2 degrees centigrade. That's not enough to do any serious harm. Not enough for flooding or ice cap melting or any of that stuff. Relatively minor. What causes the controversy is the climate scientists have said, oh, that's just the tip of the iceberg, to forgive the pun. The fact is that the global warming will shine on the ocean, evaporate water, and the water vapor will itself become a greenhouse gas, which will have 3 times the impact of this global warming in the first place. And that would raise temperatures by 5 degrees Celsius by 2100, and that would be a catastrophe. Well, they're right about that. But it's not happening. For the last 20 years, we've tracked this, and there has been no increase other than that, which is just because of the warming of the Earth's surface in the first place. This secondary reaction of water vapor hasn't happened. Now, the climate scientists are working very hard to deny that and to pretend that it is going on, but it's not. So when Obama tries to sell you a bill of goods about climate change, number one, ask him about China, and number two, it's not really happening. Thanks.